Hello and welcome to CompanyNet's monthly roundup of changes and new features coming in Office 365 and our Kira digital workplace platform. This month, we'll be looking at a hugely important new technology that Microsoft are introducing to Office 365, plus the impending and much awaited retirement of Skype for Business. There are also some exciting new features coming to Teams and SharePoint, plus some significant updates to our Kira digital workplace that you won't want to miss. First off, let's look at an amazing new technology coming to Office 365 that will power collaborative experiences like you've never seen before. Microsoft has announced Fluid Framework, which is going to transform collaboration in the cloud. Fluid Framework enables incredibly deep collaboration, not only breaking down the barriers between colleagues, but also the barriers between apps. In practice, it will help people to collaborate in new ways, with potentially thousands of users working on one piece of content simultaneously. Importantly, they've managed to reduce the lag to a point where it's impossible to tell that collaboration isn't happening in real time, so everything truly feels fluid. One thing that Fluid Framework will enable is Office 365 content that's live and remains linked to the original source document wherever it appears. For example, you could copy a table from an Excel spreadsheet and paste it into a Word document. That table would remain linked to the original Excel file, so any changes to the table would affect both files. You could then copy and paste the table again into a channel in Microsoft Teams, where people across your organization could work together on filling it out. Because the content is linked, it would update everywhere at once. Fluid Framework will also enable artificial intelligence to take care of tasks, making it easier to get more done. You might have already seen an intelligent agent at work, such as in PowerPoint, which now uses AI to automatically suggest designs for your slides, based on their content. This is just a very basic example of where things are heading. One AI assistant which has been demoed by Microsoft is an instant translation agent. They showed off an impressive demo where a Word doc was being live translated into 8 languages at once as it was being written. We know that this technology isn't far off because the same live translation is already present in Microsoft Teams. In fact, it's a feature we're covering later in this update. Looking even further into the future, Microsoft has finally confirmed that support for Skype for Business will be dropped in 2 years' time. This has been on the cards for some time now, as the Office 365 world moves increasingly towards Microsoft Teams as its main platform for communication and collaboration. By the start of 2020, Microsoft will have enabled all Skype for Business users to chat and call with Microsoft Teams users. Ahead of that, they're stopping any new users from being onboarded to Skype for Business. From September this year, all new Office 365 users will only have the option of using Microsoft Teams. At CompanyNet, we've been using Teams for more than 2 years, and in fact we transferred our entire telephony system onto it more than a year ago. In that time, we've found it has become an extremely stable, reliable and useful platform. It's central to Microsoft's plans for Office 365, so it's no surprise that they want to kill off legacy apps like Skype for Business in favour of Teams. There's another app whose functionality is being rolled into Teams. You might not even have heard of it. It's called Kassala, and it's designed for frontline and field workers. Kassala started out essentially as a rip-off of WhatsApp, but evolved into an instant messaging platform with a tailored interface to Office 365 for frontline staff. For example, Kassala could be set up so hotel cleaning staff could check off each room as they service it and log any items that are missing. The great news is that the features of Kassala Pro are being added into Microsoft Teams. This means it will be easier than ever to connect the work of frontline staff with the rest of the organisation. Soon it'll be possible to create apps built on Teams that feed information from staff to the wider organisation and enable collaboration where it matters between office and field workers. This will also mean that organisations that have adopted Teams will need to develop far fewer custom apps in the near future because they'll be able to build everything on Teams. Now let's go from the future to the present and the first signs of those AI agents being implemented in Teams today. Live Events is a great feature of Microsoft Teams which lets you produce live streaming events with multiple presenters talking to an online audience. Teams can now add live captions to what your presenters are saying, and if your organisation operates in multiple languages, it can even automatically translate it in up to 6 languages at once, including Klingon. Organisations with multilingual audiences will obviously benefit from this feature. But more broadly, even just the live captioning in English will make everybody's events more accessible. You should note, however, that our own internal testing of live translation produced mixed results, with the translated captions sometimes going awry. During testing, this can be quite funny, but in a real business situation, it may not be so amusing. This feature was rolled out at the end of last month. If you want to use captions for live events, your administrator needs to turn on Allow Transcription for Attendees in the live event policies. Also making its way into Microsoft Teams this month is Atlas Mentions. It's been possible for a while to get someone's attention in a Teams channel by using @mentions, that is, typing followed by the person's name. They receive a notification and they can click on it to go directly to the point in the conversation where they were mentioned. Going forward, Teams will start providing a list of suggestions when you start typing a person's name with a capital letter without even having to type @. When you select the suggested contact, it will create the mention for you and send them a notification. Up to now, it's been perhaps too easy to mention someone on Teams without them actually being notified. This change will make it easier than ever to ensure people get alerted when they're being involved in a Teams conversation. Next, let's turn to the world of SharePoint Online. Soon, SharePoint will let you approve or reject multiple items in libraries at the same time. If you're in a library that has approvals turned on, just select multiple items, right-click, and then choose Approve or Reject from the menu. This feature will be particularly useful where your users are uploading or migrating large numbers of files into a SharePoint document library. As an approver, if you already know that the files are okay, you'll be able to approve the new files in bulk, rather than doing each one individually. This feature should be available by the end of August. Meanwhile, SharePoint pages are gaining a new Recommendations feature. This will appear at the bottom of pages and news items in SharePoint sites. This new feature helps people discover useful pages and news items that are related in some way to the content they're currently viewing. It reduces the need for people to hunt for related content and improves the chances that good content will be seen by more people. If you don't want this feature, you can turn it off on a page-by-page basis. There's a little off switch on the feature itself, or an administrator can turn it off at the site level. Another feature being rolled out over August can be found in the web version of Outlook. When you paste a link to a file that's been stored on OneDrive or SharePoint, that link changes to the document's file name with the correct file icon. You'll also get a pop-up menu with options to manage the file's sharing and permissions. Being able to change sharing options for a file directly from Outlook means that you can be sure the correct permissions are set before you send the message. Finally this month, there's some exciting changes in the latest version of Kira, our digital workplace platform for Office 365. Kira users can now get more creative and answer more business needs with a powerful new component. Up to this point, Kira has featured a selection of useful components, aka web parts, that drove things like news headlines, document centers, staff directories, and tasks and tools lists. Under the hood, we've been doing a lot of work to merge the features of all these components into one highly customizable web part, which we've simply named the Kira web part. This new consolidated component is driven by dynamic layouts, which are a central library of templates. We'll provide a set of fine-tuned dynamic layouts that we've created for the most common intranet components, including all the functionality of earlier Kira components, such as news headlines for your homepage. We've taken the opportunity to improve the experience with extra features like the ability to show people's photos and names on search results. For example, when displaying links to news stories, you can now show the author's details as part of each results card. We've also added a new feature which lets you pin a search filter. This takes a filter, such as the type of page or target location, and turns it into a set of tabs at the top of the component, letting users quickly move between the different types of results. Kira's various web part components are used widely throughout our customers' intranets. However, when an update was needed, such as a change to how news items were being displayed, each individual instance of each component would need to be updated separately. Now all it takes is an update to the central template, and all the Kira components using that template will be instantly updated. Not only that, but this change means new templates can be added, which essentially create new kinds of component, while retaining full compatibility and alignment with Office 365. That's the big change to Kira's functionality this month, and we also have a change to how it looks. As the look, feel and functionality of Office 365 constantly evolves, we reevaluate how Kira looks and works to ensure that our customers get the best possible experience. Microsoft recently changed the location of their search box, moving it up into the main header. This change made Kira's navigation bar look a bit odd, so we've updated this feature to support an extra style that fits in better with the new look. As a result, from version 1.9 of Kira, you can choose between keeping the old style navigation bar or updating to the new one. If you're a Kira customer and have already been upgraded to 1.9, you don't need to do anything. You'll get the new components and the new look automatically. If you have not been upgraded to Kira 1.9 yet, or would like to find out more, just drop us a line. That's it for this month's update. Remember, if you work with Office 365 and you think your organisation could benefit from our insight, drop CompanyNet's expert team a line. Visit company-net.com to find out more. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit like so more people can find it, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back in September with more Office 365 goodness.